हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू दिस एपिसोड ऑफ टॉकिंग रूपाली। आज मैं आप लोगों के साथ जॉब इंटरव्यूज या कोई ऐसी जगह जहाँ पे आपको आपका इंट्रोडक्शन देना है। आप आपको खुद के बारे में कुछ बोलना है। आप क्या हो, कौन हो या क्या करते हो, तो वो कैसे करना है, स्पेशली इन अ फॉर्मल सेटिंग। कहीं पे आप अगर एक से यू वेंट टू टेक और गिव एन इंटरव्यू, for an interview, and the person, it can be a recruiter, or it can be, depends upon the situation where you are. You need to introduce. Okay, I will go on in English, and this is basically uh, introducing yourself in English language, in English. So I'm going to um, share with you my own experiences of um, taking some interviews or introducing myself in different places, and what I have realized so far. It's not that come to the final realization and this is the end. I still think whenever I introduce myself in any place or in any to any particular uh, to anybody, to a person, so I keep thinking how I introduce myself better, because I'm also getting to learn my own way of how can I make it a little more interesting, and whether I'm saying the actual things that I am. Why I'm saying this? Because most of the times, during introducing ourselves to someone, we we skip the things that we should say about ourselves, although we are something or we are doing something, but we miss those parts and we say something else, very formal, very rigid. We stick to these rigid, very mechanical sort of introductions, mechanical, formats that we have been hearing from people. So this is why I thought, why not talk about this today? So let's suppose you are in a formal setup, and suppose this is a recruitment scenario, and your recruiter asks you to introduce yourself, and you are a imagine karte hai, you are a content writer. How will you introduce yourself? So फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, ये जो फॉर्मल वेव ऑफ इंट्रोडक्शन है, ये जो ट्रेडिशनली चलता आ रहा है, जैसे कैसे आप इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे उस रूल को फॉलो करते हुए, यू विल से आई एम ए कंटेंट राइटर, and my you will start with your name. Okay, so you will say my name is this, and I live in this place, and what I do is this. I write content for, um, if you are working for an agency or a company, or you are writing for people or writing for whoever or whatever it is, you will say. So that's how you um, introduce yourself. And maybe in some cases, you will say something like you will add your hobbies. You will, in the end, basically you will add your hobbies, like I like to do this, I love reading, I love fishing or gardening, or I like to do this and that. So hobbies, ये जो है, जो हम लोग एक्चुअली फॉलो करते हैं बहुत, when you we are not working, you are, whenever you are not working, you are doing something, right? And we are, it is very natural, as human beings we are working, um, we need a living, we need to ensure our living, we need to earn a living, that's why we are working. But apart from whatever the immediate thing you are working, um, you maybe there might be something that you love to do when you are when you have a little time for yourself, like I said, your hobby is gardening, painting, drawing, cooking. It can be cooking for somebody, and there are a lot of other things. These are just a few I mentioned. So the list of hobbies or whatever you do, your passion comes later. You were like, oh, ye to, okay, this is my hobby, and I should say, uh, I should bring my hobby, make a mention of my hobby at the very last of my introduction. So this is the usual way of introducing ourselves. This is the usual pattern we follow when introducing ourselves to um, someone. So, in front of someone. Okay. But over the years of my own, experience of introducing to people, although I won't say that I have introduced myself in front of so many organizations and people, no, nothing like that. But I have developed an understanding over the years as to how you can introduce yourself better and in a much more effective way than you introduce yourself in a casual or usual manner. All right. So it's like you are a content writer. Let's say you are a content writer, and you are introducing yourself to someone. So if it's something like a much more better way of introducing yourself would be when you say hello or good morning. Depends upon the time and situation. So you will say all those greetings and initials. Okay, at it depends. So hello, my name is this. Okay, let me do it for myself. So hello, sir, madam, or whatever it is. Um, Hello, my name is Rupali Roy. I am a passionate writer and somebody who loves reading a lot and consumes a lot of books, and um, somebody who's you can say something like this. Okay, you first talk about your passion, and then you say, all right, I'm mixing it. Let me try again. I'm confusing it. Hello, my name is Rupali Roy and I live in this place. I am a passionate content writer, and um, words are my favorite way of expressing myself, and I love um, playing with words, something like this. Okay, and then you say then you come to your regular thing. Okay, like mm, whatever you do. Okay, by profession, then you add by profession I am a writer and I work at this place, this company. So this is something which will be mind blowing. Like you are telling someone, hello, I am this is my name, and this is I am basically a word lover, a storyteller, and when I am not a storyteller, I am a swimmer or a gardener. I'm passionate about this thing, and I'm a driven person, and I am this and that. I'm very confident about my this thing of mine. So this brings a kind of excitement, like you were introducing yourself saying, my name is this, I live in this place, and I work at this company, that company, or this government, job, or something like this. So this doesn't say anything interesting about you. This is the whole point I am talking about. Okay. So when you add something in the very beginning of the introduction, just after your name and the place you live, you bring that thing, your passion, what you are. Okay. As a person, that gives that makes it a little more interesting. Okay, not a little, it makes it much more interesting. You are telling that person what you are as a person at an individual level, at a personal level, what you are and why it is interesting. Let me also share that fact. Okay, the recruiter will find it much more interesting, and will also help the recruiter know what you are, what kind of a person you are, your likings of things. Hmm. Whether it is gardening, cooking, writing, reading, or anything, fishing, or trekking, or cycling, or whatever it is, it tells the recruiter a lot about your nature, and how driven you are as a person. So they are always interested to know these personal details, hmm, in the form of your hobbies that you say. And when you add that twist, they know that okay, this person has some mirth, hmm, and this person is interesting. And these things also give them some clue about you. Um, Apart from the formal introduction you do, very mechanical introduction you do, these things tell a lot about what kind of, whether you are a very driven person, whether what are your passions, um, and the things, these things actually tell, give them the story, and actually helps them decide whether they choose you or not. These things are like a spark you are adding in your personality. Okay. um, can't say you are adding a spark in your personality, but these things come across as a spark. Hmm. Um, as a shining thing, as a bright, part of your personality. Hmm. That gives them, that encourages them to decide, quickly, that okay, this is the person I'm looking for, or whether I should uh, select this person or not. So this also depends on, and this introduction, how you introduce yourself, also depends on where you are introducing yourself. This is basically a um, okay, in formal setups also you can take some liberty, and introduce bring your creative side. Bring, if you have any creative side, so you can bring that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a creative side, okay, always. It has to be anything you love to do, apart from your immediate job or the job you are. Job means the work you are getting paid for. Mm. So there are, every one of us, in the present times, we have a lot of hobbies and passions that we like to follow, or that we like to do when we have a little time. So these are the plus points that you can um, add when you are introducing yourselves. And this won't be right to say, like, it wouldn't be good to put it like this. These are the things that you need to bring to the forefront when you are introducing yourselves, instead of keeping them at the backstage. um, you do not have to talk about, you shouldn't talk about these things. If you want to make your introduction interesting, you shouldn't talk about these things at the very last. Instead, you should bring this after you tell your name, and where you live. You should talk about what you love to do, and then say okay. By then you add your details, like if you have any past experience or the degrees you have achieved, the formal things or the certificates you have. So these are or the titles, whatever title, if you hold any title, formal title or something like that, like I have been a student, a researcher, this and that. Okay, so these are your um, formal identities. Okay, these are not your personal identities. So this is what um, is um, is a great differentiator when you are giving your um, what you think you personally are. Formally, you are something. You can be a student, you can be a teacher, you can be a researcher, you can be a writer, you can be an engineer, doctor, lawyer, and whatever you are. Hmm. But there is a personal part to it, identity that says a lot about your personality, your character. And when you add that twist in your introduction, and not only add that twist but bring it to the forefront, वो सामने रख दें आप, वो पर्सनैलिटी आपका जो जो कि इंटरेस्टिंग साइड है आपका, then your introduction becomes very, very, attractive. And sometimes this is also a point that sometimes we have a lot of interesting things to share, like we do a lot of things, but we are a little hesitant to share those. um, Hesitant because either we are afraid of talking, like we are always hurrying, right? In an introduction, it's sometimes it's a tensed. If we are, we do not have self belief, and we mm, are not confident in ourselves, then we are hurrying away, and in that hurry we miss the actual points, the things we should actually highlight, and the things that will always place us uh, in the front line. Okay, so those are the things, they bring the personal side, personal aspects, and then see after um, and then see what happens. It will definitely be very, very helpful during interviews. And it will also, and this is also about realizing gradually, it won't happen. Like I also came to realize this after mm, um, dealing with certain this interview situations for some time, that you need to talk about those things which you really are, and you do not only have to talk about the formal titles that you have, that you hold. So that is what makes your introduction much more interesting, and people can come to a decision regarding you, whether they select, whether they choose or not. And when you add those things in your introduction, they immediately know you at a better, at a deeper level, and that's what makes them decide better. So the next time you introduce yourself in a certain situation, try this out, try this way out. And also um, in this manner of introducing yourself, you will also discover what you really are, and you need to think before introducing yourself. In this way, you actually need to pause, stop, and sit down and think, okay, what are the things that I like to do, what are the parts, what are the personal information that I can add, what are the points that will make my introduction and much more interesting, and what are the sides that I must tell people when I'm introducing myself. And people are always talking about, in the internet as well, in on YouTube you will have a lot of videos and people talking about, everyone is interested in, everyone wants to introduce themselves better. But it's very difficult to know how and what are the things that you should mention when you are introducing, so that it becomes a better introduction. So it took me a while to realize this, and suddenly, okay, this came to my mind. Okay, so I thought of sharing this. So introduce, whenever you are introduce yourself, always remember to add your to bring your personal side, who you are at the personal level. And then of course talk about, if it is a formal introduction, of course talk about the position or uh, your designation, in the formal setup. If you come from an, if you are a student, then student. And if you are an employee or worker somewhere, if you have been working something, then mention that. Or if you are a fresher, just mention that. So that's your formal designation, you can say. But that is not what you are. Do not let your formal things, formal position or title define what you are. Bring that aspect of your personal thing, that what you really are, in front. Bring that in the front, so that the recruiter or whoever it is can see that, and then choose or decide whether they select you, choose you or not. So thank you for watching. I will be showing up with yet another video. So um, till I come with another episode. Tata, take care. Bye bye.